What is an industry secret that you know? Use to screen resumes for small companies. Job requirements are more of a wish list situation. Never let some unchecked boxes deter you from applying. You have no idea what the applicant pool is like. The biggest boon, especially at small companies, is someone who legitimately cares. I was told during my driver training for a public bus company, if a car pulls out in front of you, causing you to slam the brakes, hit it. Let the passengers claim insurance from the car driver. If you slam the brakes, avoid the collision, the injured passengers will can sue the bus company. Most fitness models, coaches and influencers are using anabolic steroids or did it once at least, and among competitive bodybuilders everyone does it, but almost no one admits it. The military typically disposes of old vehicles by parking it somewhere on a large base, and abandoning it. Sometimes they use them as training targets. It's cool but eerie to see. I know where there's a lake that's full of Sherman tanks. They drove them out there in the late 50s in the winter and left them to fall through. Healthcare IT is held together with duct tape and twine. Related, pay attention to the treatment release forms. Your health data is being sent everywhere and there's not shit you can do about it. No sign, no treatment. Edit, apparently it is possible to opt out of your state's health information exchange, but it must be done with the exchange itself. The process varies by state and can be painful. You know those adverts that show someone who's maybe a bit overweight and kind of out of shape, but then they follow this diet or use this one bit of equipment that's being sold, and suddenly they're super ripped and fit. Yeah, those people are almost always professional, or at least semi-professional athletes. They take the before pic when they've just had an injury/surgery/illness that kept them from training/working out, and the after pic is just them returning to their natural state when they're back working out, etc. It doesn't really have anything to do with the diet or equipment being sold. Water coming from wastewater treatment plants is cleaner than the river water it's going into. The main problem is not enough dissolved oxygen. That's seriously the biggest danger. Meanwhile, the worst pollution for most rivers is runoff causing high biochemical oxygen demand, BOD. AKA too much food for bacteria that also consume O2, so just like the danger from the wastewater treatment plant, fish suffocate. All the random stuff from metal finishers is stopped before it's allowed into the sewer system. If the system is working correctly. If you're shopping online, start the checkout process and then, before paying, close your window. You'll very likely get a coupon with a discount over the next few days in your email. Food expiration dates, especially on shelf-stable foods, are essentially arbitrary. Nutrition labels are often wildly inaccurate. It is technically not legal to use false information, but it's very, very rare to be caught, unless you are making health-related claims. Those food certifications that you see on food labels are provided by for-profit companies that bill you monthly, so they are highly incentivized to certify as many companies as they can and actively ignore violations. A shocking number of ingredients that are illegal or heavily regulated in other devolved countries are perfectly legal and mostly unregulated in the US. The same companies that make store brands at higher-end stores like Wegmans, Whole Foods and Trader Joe's make them for cheaper stores like Walmart and Aldi. I could go on. Honestly, the more of an expert you become in your field, the more you realize how much you are winging it. Whether you're a higher up or not. Don't get me wrong, you're making informed decisions. But a majority of the time you are picking the best option given the information you have. You won't actually find out until later if it was the right option. In corporate culture, the IT staff can be your best resource or your biggest enemy. They deal with idiots all day, so say hello and treat them nicely. Not only when you have a problem. Bring them some donuts or something randomly. They don't forget and will take care of you next time you have a computer crisis. I've gotten new monitors, extra keyboards for home, cords, whatever I needed because I took some time to say hi and ask how their day was going. Same with the maintenance/facilities team. They are two teams you want on your side. If you give one website your name, another website your number, and another website your email. There are services that merge info together by scanning the web and build a profile of you for ad targeting and sales. Some of you may assume this already, but it is standard practice and utilized more frequently than you might think. I make tons of money keeping computing up and running. We use turn it off and on again way more than you do. Not necessarily a secret, but more of a fun fact. In fact, that's the philosophy of DevOps. There's a modern concept called cattle, not pets. And the whole philosophy is that you should just stop treating computer like pets. Naming them, taking care of them. Instead, they're just cattle. Just kill it and move to the next one. And since computers now run things virtually, killing a computer service is the equivalent of just turning it off and on again. Like, you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on that principle. May not be a secret anymore, but you do not want to know the true extent to which AI writing is used in scientific research papers. 90% of people can't tell the difference between good and good enough. The Pareto principle generally holds true. 80% of the work is done by 20% of the people, but being one of those producers does not necessarily pay. It can even hurt your career. Digital design for hire often ends up being about first capturing what the client wants to see, and then shoehorning their questionable tastes into some version that tries to follow design principles. More than half the people that practice any given skill set, by definition, are not good at it. Your chances of getting any professional that is actually good at what they do is about 1 in 4. Far more is determined by others' perception of you than your skills. Ideas are worthless, value is 100% execution. Not really a secret, but many people don't know it. It's not about your skill, but who you know. Skills do help though. The back end of the entire financial sector, in the US anyway, is held together by the technical equivalent of termites holding hands to keep a decrepit house standing. Like we're talking COBOL code that was written in the 60s and 70s. Barely anyone alive understands it, and making tiny changes to stay current is usually a very big project. Software is held together by kids' glue and duct tape. Also, everything you do online is tracked, and when you delete something it almost never actually gets deleted from a database. We always have all your data and know everything you're doing within our systems. Sometimes we're even watching your session. Thanks for watching. Have any industry secrets of your own? Share them in the comments below.